What is up, guys? It is the Sound Alchemist, and today I am bringing you 40 facts on the Warhammer 40k universe once again. Now this time we will be covering one of the chapters, or I guess it's a legion, that we don't really talk about too much on this channel, and that is the Night Lords. Now in my opinion, these guys are pretty badass. I like their color scheme, I like the little bat wings that they have. And you guys requested this guy quite a bit, so I had to bump him up the list, and now we've got 40 facts on him. It is not the Primarch, but instead it is Jago Sevatar. So without further ado, let's go into this grisly lore on this Space Marine of Chaos. Jago Sevatarian is said to hold the honor of being the first traitor to utter these words. Death to the false emperor. Although in truth this was but one in a long line of crimes and blasphemies committed by the first captain of the Night Lords over many years. The Night Lord, known as Sevatar, was born in the sunless hive world of Nostromo, a little more than a century before the end of the Horus Heresy. At an early age he displayed innate psychic abilities, though he attempted to suppress them for the remainder of his life. An arrogant individual, Sevatar sometimes had great difficulty understanding the point of view of his Terran battle brothers or regular humans. Part of the problem was that he was so rarely wrong. It made it hard to take other people's opinions and observations seriously. He had always been that way, even as a child. His mother had told him that he would grow out of it and that he would become better with people. Following his induction into the Night Lords, he became even more arrogant, and he proved an extremely gifted and supremely ruthless, even dishonorable combatant. His meteoric rise through the ranks of the Night Lords soon earned him a place at his Primarch's side as the first company captain and equerry. His demeanor was carried through to his appearance, which was contrived to inspire fear in all who looked upon him. His midnight blue power armor was flayed with flesh, and his helm was wrought in the form of a leering skull. Beneath that deadly visage lay not just the soul of a murderer, but of a gifted one with latent psychic powers, which were unwelcomed, but still served to increase Sevatar's already fearsome capabilities to preternatural levels. These psychic abilities sometimes came out to aid him. He was able to run faster, kill quicker, and he tired more slowly than his enemies. He had dueled with Sigismund of the Imperial Fists once, the only warrior ever to beat him in a deadlock in over 100 standard years of warfare. The duel lasted almost 30 long hours of sweat, swearing, and clashing of iron against iron. Sevatar had cheated in the end. He finished the duel as hundreds of warriors from both legions looked on, by headbutting the Templar and disqualifying himself. He broke the rules, as well as Sigismund's winning streak. True to his nature, Sigismund had done nothing but laugh. The proud stoicism the first captain of the Imperial Fists was so famous for did not bleach all humanity from his humor. Sevatar had always envied him for that, for he found it very difficult to laugh, to joke, to bond effortlessly with his brothers in arms. Sevatar was present with Captain Malkarion for the gathering of captains and commanders from the Night Lords, Iron Warriors, Alpha Legion, and Wordbearer Legions in preparation for the Drop Site Massacre. He greeted Argel Tal, the chapter master of the Gal Vorbak, and he stood at his side for this meeting. After Logar Aurelian concluded a speech to the gathered Astartes, the Space Marines' passions were fired up by Logar's rhetoric, and Sevatar became the first to utter the phrase, "Death to the false emperor," a rallying cry which would be used by the forces of chaos for millennia to come, and this shook Tal's hand in a manner of two fellow warriors. Following the battle where the Gal Vorbak had revealed that they were demon hosts, Sevatar's attitude changed completely, and he became openly hostile to the Wordbearers. Following the Drop Site Massacre, Sevatar joined his Primarch in the Thramas Crusade, battling the Dark Angels. When Kurz offered a parley to Lionel Johnson, the two brothers agreed to be accompanied by two of their Astartes. Sevatar was one of Curse's bodyguards, along with Huskarl Shang. The two Dark Angels were Master Alakos and Paladin Cornsway of the Ninth Order. Sevatar had seriously wounded Alakos during the Thramas Crusade and mockingly promised to use his head as a trophy. When Corswain told Sevatar and Shang that he knew their mothers had mated with pigs in Nordstrom, the two Night Lords were greatly amused, and Sevatar noted that his Nordstroman had a horrendous accent but was very accurate. By this point, Sevatar was also wearing a sinner's red gauntlets, a sign that he was condemned to death at Curse's hands for crimes committed by traitors and fools. When Corswain asked which Sevatar was, he replied both. The parley broke down when Johnson attacked Curse for slandering his loyalty, and Sevatar would ultimately kill Alakos in the subsequent fight. During a later period of the ongoing Thramas Crusade, Curse was badly injured by Lionel Johnson in a massive Dark Angels ambush at Sheol. Rather than flee with the rest of the Chiroptera, Sevatar ordered the Nightfall to remain and help the slower ships evacuate. It subsequently fell to Sevatar to reform his Legion survivors of the ambush, creating a new Chiroptera after killing two of its members, Malithos Kun and Sel Herrick. Sevatar divided the Legion among himself and 5 of his brothers into the 6 great companies that would be allowed to operate independently of Legion command. In an attempt to awaken Curse, Sevatar used his long-suppressed psychic powers to enter Curse's mind, but was thrown back by his Primarch. Returning to consciousness, Sevatar found the Dark Angels had discovered the Night Lords. Mustering the Night Lords' fleet, Sevatar was in the midst of commanding it and powering through the Dark Angels' battle line when Curse finally awoke and ordered his first captain to instead bring the Ultramentar with him and bordering the Invincible Reason, the Dark Angels' flagship. Complying with his Primarch's order, Sevatar joined him in battle. However, his unlocking of his psychic powers shortly before the combat began to have adverse effects upon him. He lost consciousness during the battle as a result, being captured along with the Ultramentar. When the Dark Angels arrived in Imperium Secundus, Sevatar and his brothers were transferred to a cell on Macragge. It is said that Sevatar was eventually killed during the Horus Heresy, and he was succeeded as first captain by So Zahal, a Terran-born Marine. Following his death, the Ultramentar largely dissolved. Some, like Apothecary Talos Valcorin, put down his Zahal to not being a Nostroman, but according to the Ultramentar asked by Mercutian, a member of the First Claw, 10th Company, it was most likely because the Ultramentar felt that no one could live up to Sevatar's reputation. During a moment with his chosen, Curse demanded Sevatar to come forward, only to be informed that Sevatar was long dead, a revelation which left the Night Haunter extremely agitated. Mercutian confided to Octavia, the navigator of the Echo of Damnation, that he believed Sevatar was still alive, a prospect Talos dismissed. And now onto the war gear. He wore power armor, he had an iron halo for defense, he always took frag and crack grenades with him into battle, he wielded a bolt pistol and a master-crafted Nostraman chainblade. And that concludes the lore for Sevatar. In my opinion, a lot of his lore is very much rooted with the Horus Heresy, so there's a bunch of events that occurred that you might not be familiar with. So if you guys want the full story, feel free to head to the Warhammer wiki and read up on him, because there is a lot of details that I did not get to in this lore. Also, check out the Horus Heresy books. That's probably the best way to get the full story and actually know exactly how deeply ingrained this guy was to the heresy. Now, in my opinion, he's pretty badass. I love the model, but I would never be able to use it since it's pretty much all grisly and there's like skin hanging off of it. So there's no way to actually put him into a, Space Marine army unless it's like a a Chaos army, and I don't play Chaos, so he'd never work, as awesome as his sculpt is. Anyway, let me know what you guys thought about Sevatar, the one to say death to the false emperor, because that's pretty much what he's known for. Anyway guys, if you guys have other suggestions, feel free to leave them down in the comments below, or hit me up on the Facebook page. Also, if you are not on the Facebook page, please go like the One Mind Syndicate page, because you will be entered into a giveaway to win a Storm Talon gunship. So that's all I've got for you guys today. As always, I am the Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate, and I am signing out.